And staying with sports, more than half of all Division I college basketball players are African American, yet blacks account for fewer than 20% of all head coaches in the NCAA. A survey released earlier this month found that the percentage of black head coaches on college campuses has actually fallen in the past 8 years. For more on the disparity in numbers on and off the court, our guest is Al Skinner. He was the head coach at Boston College for 13 years and is the most winning coach in the history of the school's basketball program, and he is joining us via Skype from Wellesley, Massachusetts. Coach Skinner, thank you so much for taking some time to be with us. I do appreciate it. The number specifically is 18.6% of head coaches in Division I basketball are African American. Considering the number of African American players in NCAA basketball, that is a startling low number. Can you explain it?
Well, it's very difficult to explain it this time because you would think that there would be more individuals that would be involved. But it's really about just be given an opportunity, and there are just not enough minority black coaches given an opportunity to present themselves and show what they can possibly do. There was a time I think a little more moral conscious of administration to give opportunities to black and minority coaches, but as you've indicated, that number has decreased over the years.
Explain to me the process, Mr. Skinner. Who makes the ultimate decision? I mean, there's criticism of the NCAA, but it seems to me that they are not making the decisions about who becomes the head coach. Is it the athletic directors? Is it the universities themselves? Where does this burden lie?
No, it's each individual school. That's what makes it difficult, because it's each individual school that has to make the decision what's going to fit for them. And so when you look at if you want to say their clientele, but we're talking about their alumni, they want an individual that they feel can relate to their alumni. And so they're going to pick the individual that they're most comfortable with. But, what it really boils down to is who is making the decision between the athletic director and the president are the ones who are making the decision. But each school is independent of the other. They're not relying on each other to come up with these conclusions.
Tell me a little bit about your personal experience. What was the culture like in the front office, if you will, the coaching staffs at college basketball environment? You did ascend to the head coach position, but how difficult was it for you?
Well, I was very fortunate. Like everyone else, you have to have a mentor, someone that's willing to bring you forward and explain what you're capable of, and make the people, at least for a minority coach, for a black coach, to make those individuals feel comfortable that you can, for some reason they don't think that black coaches can relate to their alumni, and that's unfortunate, and that's what you really have to overcome. But I had an individual that was willing to mentor me and willing to make everyone feel comfortable that I would be able to do that. And by given the opportunity, I had some success. And from that success, when I was at the University of Rhode Island, it led to another opportunity at Boston College. Because at Boston College was going, usually a coach is going to get an opportunity when someone else is not doing as well or really happens to move on. But for me, I was very fortunate that, BC was in a very difficult spot at the time. They needed someone that could revamp the program, and that's what I was able to do.
Some would ask the question, and I'm sure many schools who defend their choices about who they hire as head coaches, they would say they want the winningest coach. It doesn't matter what color that they are, because, of course, all of that translates into dollars for their program and for their university. Why is it even important what the color of the head coach is?
It becomes a factor when you're talking about, as you just indicated, alumni have an impact on who's going to be selected. Winning is important. And that's the American way. That's athletics. That's that's the American way. So winning is always going to be important. But in the different environment from college and the pro ranks is that you have to have an association with your alumni, and so they're going to find individuals that they feel are going to be able comfortable with and be able to interact with the alumni of their university, and that they can identify with. And so when you start talking in that framework, then it really limits some opportunities.
So what's the solution here? What's the best way to approach this issue?
Well, the solution is just that black coaches and minority coaches just got to be given an opportunity, and I think then people will appreciate them for the people that they are. Instead of judging them, give them a chance to show what they're capable of. But again, the decision makers are not feeling as comfortable because they're not sure if it's going to translate. So again, it has to be given an opportunity so you can prove that, yes, you can go out and speak to alumni groups, that you can have a winning program, and that you can be the face of the university and a person that they can be proud of. But a lot of administrators are not really willing to take that chance with a black coach.
Very, very briefly, do you think this is an issue that mandates that the NCAA establish some sort of policy?
Well, you can establish a policy, but I'm not sure if that's going to work. It's really going to have to be a moral thing because like I said, each school is independent of the other. It's not like the NFL or pro athletics where one team is dependent on the other team. It doesn't work like that. They're not all tied together that way. So there's over 300 and something schools, Division I basketball schools. Forget about Division II and Division III. There's over 300 Division I basketball schools, and they're all independent of each other. So a mandate, it sounds good, but it's so easy to work around that it they have to feel a moral obligation to give some young men an opportunity to show what they're capable of doing.
All right, Albert Skinner, thank you so much for your perspective and time today. We do appreciate it.
You're more than welcome.
And this is Arise America.